One. Yo, what's good, people? It is currently 17 minutes past 10 p.m. UK time, Sunday, the 8th of June, 2025. Welcome to another amazing episode of Technically Speaking, which is a free weekly stocks and crypto macro updates on Blockchain Sensei, hosted by myself, Fadlan Effendi, aka Ninja T. Been running this webinar every single Sunday, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. for the most of 2025, and I will continue to run this until the end of Q3 2025, potentially Q4, but I'm just saying at least on the 31st of August. Catch the live in the blockchain.sensei IG bio to jump in the Zoom, and the replays at youtube.com/blockchain sensei. How I usually structure this is that I will do 45 minutes to an hour of YouTube covering mainly macro, and then I will stop recording. And for the people in the room, I usually turn it into like a meme coin degen session. I don't record and upload the meme coin degen session because I do feel like the moves on the post recording are often too high risk. And if I make a quick trade with my boys, it might be invalidated in 2 to 3 days because obviously meme coins can go to zero. Before I get started, I would like to iterate that nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't even have a degree. I'm just some guy who's super passionate about crypto and has been in the markets for 10 years. This is why you should always do your own research, even if you have a financial advisor, because as somebody who has a lot of experience in finance, though I don't have any qualifications, I find that most finance people are just there to sell you something. One of the main reasons why I do these webinars, whether people come or don't come, like there's some weeks where I'm just talking to myself, is because first and foremost, it keeps me accountable. So I actually do these webinars first and foremost for myself, just to keep myself accountable. Second of all, I do it for reputation. And then third of all, you know what I found in life? It's not just crypto, not just stocks, not just finance, but when you give out information, a lot of information ends up coming to you. So big ups to my boy Toby, he's a chef by day, crypto enthusiast by night. He's gave me 4 tickers from Nikolai Hawk's Discord group. Big ups to Nikolai. He is one of the guys that made me extremely bullish on Pengu, which I still am today, despite the terrible price action. Yeah, great crypto practitioner. So let me just come off camera. I only come on camera at the start of the recording just to show my face, and then let's get to the macros. Okay, I'm gonna leave on Zoom. Okay. Can you guys still hear me? Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, perfect. Okay, let's get into the macro. If you guys follow Blockchain Sen on Twitter, you will see that I often drop notes for Sunday webinars. In fact, it's kind of the structure. I don't really. Oh yes, we got Krog in the room. Come on, real choppers. Let's go. Okay, so followers at Blockchain Sen on X, and this is where you will find me tactically retweeting and posting a lot of the notes that I use on Sunday webinars. So let's scroll to everything above the 1st of June. Okay, so last episode, in fact, you know what, Krog, last episode, are you there or are you multitasking? I don't know if you're there or not.
Multitasking right now, bro.
Okay, no worries. Right, so last episode, unfortunately, the Matrix attacked and the recording did not save. But you guys have to just believe me on this. So, first of all, tlx.fgsolutions.net. This is the first website that I check every single day before going to CoinMarketCap, before going to TradingView, before going to news websites. This is the first website that I go on, and I recommend you guys add it to your daily analysis. So, to repeat myself, as I know some people will be watching this analysis for the first time, and we've got some new people here, including my boy Coach out in Holland. So tlx.vgsolutions.net, you can have a look at the FedNet liquidity, which is basically how much free capital is available in the American government. We can see that this has been rising since the low of the 2nd of May. Now, what I said last episode was the reverse repurchase agreement, which, to be honest, I don't even understand that much. But what I understand is it has a inverse relationship with liquidity. I don't know if you remember or not, Krog, but I said last month, not last month, exactly last week, that this spike here, which was correlated with this dip here, was an end of month trend, and it would shoot down and liquidity would shoot up. That's exactly what I said last week, and this is exactly what has happened. So it's played out. Also, the TGA, which is the savings account of the Fed, which has an inverse relationship to liquidity, has been going down. So all you're going to know with this website is liquidity. When liquidity rises, often asset prices, especially risk on assets, follow. TGA is the savings account. So when this goes up, typically asset prices decline. Though this may not be in the immediate future, being the 1 hour and 2 hour time frame, this usually plays out within weeks and months, which is my preferred time frame to look at in the medium and long term, as I'm a spot investor and trader, and I almost never use leverage. And then the reverse repurchase agreement basically has an inverse relationship with liquidity. So this is very positive for the market in the medium term. So it would seem liquidity peaked on the 11th of April, and I do believe we are headed that way back to all-time high, which will be reflective in crypto prices. So where else? Okay, yes, last week's wasn't recorded. Now let's have a look at what I posted. I thought it's quite interesting. So follow Pentoshi on Twitter. I just thought this was quite interesting. One of these days, Bitcoin is going to break out versus gold, and you'll never look back. This is quite interesting, where a lot of people only view their assets in USD, but you can actually let me see if I can actually load this chart up myself on TradingView. You can do things like this, where you can basically look at assets against each other. So Bitcoin / gold. Don't know if I can force this. Ah, get it. So Bitcoin is the fastest growing ETF in history. Blah blah blah. And then this chart is basically showing the Bitcoin price in gold. And when this breaks out, that's when we're going to get the insane BTC price. But that's more of a long-term outlook. What I see here, CryptoCon, a new Bitcoin super signal has appeared, which happens when volume reaches extreme low levels inside the bull market. I will go into this more on checkonchain.com, but I thought this was quite interesting. This is the lowest volume reading since 2004. Sorry, 2014. The other super signal this cycle gave us a 200% run from October 2023 to March 2024. Before that, only 2 other super signals were recorded in October 2016 and December 2012. We spawned the entire bull markets. There have been no moves to cycle top levels this cycle. Volume is ridiculously low, and the cycle is still in bull territory. Something huge is brewing. So we can see here, this seems to be some kind of RSI-like signal. I do take all of these things with a pinch of salt because because it's not like I'm looking at the real data set. I'm just assuming that they're telling the truth. But I think this adds to the confluence. I've been saying this time and time again. I think we're in a very, very interesting space right now because Bitcoin was hit all-time high recently, and the global stock market, not the S&P 500, but the global stock market reached all-time high recently, whilst Coinbase ranking is at 317 last time I checked. And basically nobody cares right now, besides people who are really in the trenches. Okay, so we'll skip this. Oh, so this is very good. Big ups to Axel Adler, who's an author at Crypto Quant. Basically, for those that don't know, well, I'm sure you guys know that the biggest liquidity provider in the world is America. Second and third are the PBOC, so the People Bank of China, and the ECB, which is the European Central Bank. They are set to cut the European Central Bank, so basically all the euros in the world. They're set to cut their interest rates by another 25 basis points at the June meeting, which basically translates to an increase in risk appetite because lending reduces. So expect another liquidity pump. Here is another data set by Axel. Here's a brief overview of the futures market. Currently, the liquidation dominance oscillator is in negative territory, indicating active closing of various positions. The predominance of short contract liquidations points to buyer strength in the futures market. At the same time, there were no sharp extremes like in April 2024 and January 2023. Thus, despite the recent pullback, bullish momentum remains intact. And then also, we can see here with the Bitcoin futures long short liquidations dominance, we can kind of see a trend here where there's basically higher lows, indicating price going up. If it was the other way around, where we were seeing lower lows, much like in technical analysis, that would be an indication of price going down. We love a good RSI, and we can see here that the RSI has been trending with higher lows within this data set, which again signals bullish momentum. Where are we? And then let's have a look at some notes. So let's have a look at my professor, Professor Adam. I've got some notes from his streams in the past 3 days. So there's something called the short-term holder supply in profit and loss ratio. You can get this by going to charts.checkonchain.com. This is a super, super underrated website. And if you learn to get familiar with some of these pricing models, you will get an edge in which you can silence a lot of the noise in terms of always being on news and always just looking at TA. Typically, if you go to this website, it will bring you to light mode, which is why I recommend you go to dark mode, because I just feel like everything's better in dark mode. You can go to this section here, the short-term holder indicators, and then go to is it profit and loss or supply? Oh, it's supply, my bad. Yeah, if you click on here, supply, it will bring up this chart here. In fact, I would just give away the source in which charts you should look at on this website. Again, go to charts.checkonchain.com and then go to dark mode. Out of all these charts, these are the ones that I like to look at most frequently. There's the short-term holder supply and profit and loss ratio, which you get to by clicking here, supply. There's the perpetual futures funding rate, which you get to where is this exact chart? I preloaded it up. I'm sure you can find it if you really want to find it. And then I look at this one, which is another funding rates metric. And then I look at this one, which is a topping pricing model. They're the main ones, right? So what is meant by short-term holder? A short-term holder is by check on-chain metrics is Bitcoin is holders who've been holding crypto for 155 days or less. When it's in green, it means that short-term holders are in profit. When it's in yellow, it means short-term holders are are around break even, and then red means there's more loss. So we've recently hit all-time highs. I would expect this to at some point get to this middle line and retest, which could mean Bitcoin going down to around 98K sometime maybe in the next 30 to 60 days. I don't like to overly predict before actually sending. Then we've got this model here, which is the BTC fair value analysis measured against global liquidity. As we can see right now, we're pretty fairly priced, which is good because we expect global liquidity to go up. Why? Because the European Central Bank, which is the second or third biggest liquidity provider, are reducing interest rates. We expect America to reduce interest rates and print, though they have not printed yet, but China has been printing a lot. And then Professor Adam has something called the LTPI and MTPI, which is a long-term bullish probability indicator and a medium trend probability indicator, both trending bullish, especially in the long term. And then the last, one second. The last three portfolio signal updates were as follows: 25% Ethereum and 75% cash as of 2 days ago. And the latest two readings being 56% Ethereum, that was yesterday, and now back to a 69% Ethereum allocation with 25% cash. I have been saying this for many, many weeks now. One of the reasons why I truly believe altcoin season is around the corner being less than 3 months away, could be as quick as 2 weeks away, is because of the almighty ETH BTC ratio. So let's naked chart this for a second. So for those that are unfamiliar with the ETH BTC ratio, the ETH BTC ratio is the price of Bitcoin, the price of Ethereum in Bitcoin. Let me just add some basic indicators here. MACD. Okay. So I believe second. Oh. Okay, so on the 1 week, the ETH BTC ratio, so the price of Ethereum in Bitcoin is currently 2.3% Bitcoin to get 1 Ethereum. The higher this ratio goes up, it means it costs more and more Bitcoins to buy Ethereum, which means that Ethereum is outperforming BTC in terms of dollar value, right? Ether is what, 2.5K right now, Bitcoin is 100K. If you just use your logic, you should come to the conclusion that Ethereum is going to 2x before Bitcoin is, right? 7x difference, but there's a 7x difference in market cap, and this liquidity will trickle down to altcoins in due time. It's just the market is testing us, including myself. So in terms of the RSI, which for those that don't know is an indication of an asset's strength, undervalued or overvalued, the RSI is the lowest it has been since September 2019 on the ETH BTC ratio. What happened, historically speaking, when the RSI was this low? We took a while to consolidate, but once we did, we saw a parabolic bull run. this is something which I thought would happen in Q1. We are 2/3 the way Q2 and it hasn't happened yet, but I refuse to believe that this is what we're going to live through. I do believe, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, that the bottom is either in or close for ETH BTC ratio. And upon, if I'm correct, upon this spiking up and it costing more Bitcoins to get Ethereum, is when we will see a true parabolic alt run. And that's basically where everybody starts jumping into the market. We look here on the fear and greed. Fantastic. We're down to 55. Guys, if we get one more crash or good pullback, which we're kind of going through right now, a little bleed, but if we get more, it's the opportunity of a lifetime. Guys, if you guys are here and not multitasking, I know some people are at work or whatever, right? You see this ultimate fear that was on, what's that, 6th, like at the start of April. This is 2 months ago. Who can admit that they didn't buy enough? Here.
I can admit I didn't buy enough, bro, but I didn't have more funds to put in, bro. But I was telling everybody, including my mom, bro. Like, not gonna lie, bro. But hey, you know what's cool though? My mom now invests in crypto by
Go on.
herself, bro. Whenever she sees the shit's bleeding like that, I also told her, how to check some of the metrics. But she does it even simpler. Whenever she has some spare cash to throw in and she sees the market is red, she buys in a little. She always buys when it's red. She
Yeah,
never buys when it's green. It's that simple. And like she just happy looking
yeah,
at her wallet once in a while. Like it ain't even that much, but she just making profits out here.
good, good, good. Bro, I'm glad you were honest. I don't think that we're gonna get back here.
I don't think so
I
either,
think
bro.
realistically we can only I think realistically we can only go to here. Like now's already the good buying opportunity. I don't know if we're even gonna go here, right? But this is basically because people were like, is it World War III?
Yeah, bro. Plus, also, I think people that were holding all throughout the first of Q1 were like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna accept the loss and take my money out because they're not experienced in how this shit works. Because everybody was expecting Q1 because everybody was saying Q1.
I know, same. I was expecting it too, bro. But look, guys, this is one of the most important things. Like, do you look at this, coach, the ETH BTC ratio? It's
Yeah, bro,
like
I do actually.
the most important. It's one of the most important things in crypto. Yeah, like this ratio here is telling you why we've not had all season. Like Ethereum's been losing against Bitcoin since the end of the previous bull market,
Mm-hmm.
but it has to break out at some point. Like Bitcoin can't just keep going up forever. And then the second thing you're gonna look at is the Bitcoin dominance. Look, the second this starts declining, when did it last start declining? September 2019, dog. Actually, no. I'm telling a lie. Sorry. Yeah,
21,
January
right?
2021. This
Yeah.
decline, this whole decline is literally the entire 2021 bull market.
Mm-hmm.
This is all season. So we need to probably get to like here first. We probably need to climb a little bit more. And then when this drops, this is all season. This is the print.
The holy season, bro.
When Bitcoin, yeah, like it's literally been the Bitcoin bull run. But when this declines, if you're invested in the right altcoins, the right AI projects, the right memes, bro, you can you can be a multimillionaire. Like everyone's
Yeah.
just I feel like this market, what this market is doing right now is that it's testing everyone, including the vets.
Mm-hmm.
It's testing everyone because we're like, I'll be so honest, I've been under allocated to BTC. Like,
Yeah,
I
facts,
wish I had more Bitcoin because
facts.
I've not been riding this, but I know my time's coming with my altcoins. I know for sure. Okay, so look, right? If you don't just take my word for it, right? Very, very smart people, including Professor Adam, who's the crypto investing professor at university.com, which is Tate's thing, right? His major, like this guy's a multi-millionaire, right? Who advises for the Tates. He, he's telling you to put the majority position in Ethereum. Now, me personally, I'm not even in ETH. I'm in ETH betas like Avax. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, I've been saying ETH major, ETH major, ETH major. Here are the signals from today and yesterday, right? So long term probability indicator and medium term probability indicator, bullish with the ETH major. And then let's have a look at some heat maps. So we can see here that the 1 week and the 2 week for BTC are extremely bullish right now with super thick liquidations. So I think between now and next week, which is my birthday, I think we're going to have a bullish week. I think it's going to be a good week in the trenches, which is why I really want to lock in after I stop recording and I can talk about meme coins off YouTube. But yeah, I expect the market to be super long this week. However, I can see that there's quite a bit of a gap in the 2 week ETH liquidation heat map. So I do actually think Bitcoin is going to outperform Ethereum this week. Big ups to 42 Macro by Darius Dale. They have something called the VAMS model. And it basically predicts the lower bound and the upper bound. So the maximum something ETH and Bitcoin are going to go down within the week. So it predicts, and the maximum is going to go up to. So it predicts a lower bound of 101.4 K for the next week or so. So the VAMS model doesn't expect Bitcoin to go below 1K, and then the upper bound will be 111, which is that all-time high. Yeah, pretty much
Okay, I
touching
think
all-time high. So
yeah.
that's the range. Yeah, and then the ETH range, we don't expect ETH to go below 24099, and the upper range is 2823. Okay, and then we have something called the Global Liquidity Index with the M2 Global Monetary correlation. We predict, according to models inside the real world, which are models outside of my mathematical and technical expertise. I'm just passing on something from one of my professors. We expect Bitcoin to be in the range of 160 to 200K between now and the 21st of September. Guys, I honestly feel like the market is just gonna go, and it's like the perfect time to pump the market because nobody cares and everybody's distracted. So this is
Everybody's broke usually around that time because
okay.
they spend
Yeah,
all the money in the summer, and the FOMO will be
yeah,
at an all-time
exactly
high.
right. This is why I don't. Yeah. I don't want to spend my money this summer. So again, check onchain.com. There's something called the topping model. So click here, topping, and this model here has well predicted. If I had this model with me throughout the years, I would have made so much money. Like, look here. Every time it crosses the green, well, in the previous bull market, it way crossed the green and then it needed to hit this pink zone before crashing. This time here, we've not even hit the green zone. We've not hit the pink zone. In fact, the pink zone would bring us to 135K. And then if we go up here to the upper bands, it brings us to around 152. So we are nowhere near the top and we've got a lot of space to grow. Now, these next two things on checkonchain.com, this is what's very interesting. So we can see here that there is basically almost no volume in futures right now. No volume in futures. So what does that mean? that means that this rally of the price going up has mainly been institutional. This is an institute. Do you guys understand? This is an institutional crypto pump. This is not retail, because when there is high perpetual futures, it is an indication of exacerbated trends. So not necessarily up or down. If we're going up and the perpetual futures is rising, we will go up faster and for longer, because there is excess liquidity in the market, right? In perps, not just in spot. The fact that this is low, right? So this is low, price is going up, liquidity is going up. When this is funded, when this funding goes up, we are going to go up for longer, for quicker, and yeah, just basically longer and quicker. So this is why I don't. This is another reason why I think people are not bullish enough. And then here we see also, look here, right? Previous times when the funding is extremely high, what do we get? We get sharp rises for extended periods of time. What have we had since 17th of December? We've had a decline in the perps market, and what have we been doing? We've been chopping sideways. Since chopping sideways and reaching this bottom here, yeah, we've been rising since early April in the past 2 months without the futures market. So this is an institutional pump. When you combine this with euphoria, with global liquidity, with interest rates being cut, we will see an all season that you guys have never. The people have basically lost faith in. And that's what I see in the market right now. Okay, what else? See, I could go on TradingView and then just read indicators, but a lot of people know how to read indicators, and that's just boring and that's lazy. That's why I like to look at these kind of more nuanced data sets. What else? Okay, let's see if I've retweeted anything interesting. If not, oh, here's another smart person talking about ETH BTC ratio, Bitcoin data. He is really good on Twitter. I really want everyone to basically just study the ETH BTC chart. Look historically when ETH outperformed Bitcoin and what happened to the rest of the market. That's not happened yet, and we've still had pumps. And yeah, it's pretty crazy, guys. All right, let's go to Thomas on markets. Thomas on markets is the most important person on Twitter to follow for macro, in my opinion. What has he been saying since the 1st of June, which was the previous stream? Okay, I think he's done 2 tweets or 3. So this one was from 6 days ago. US growth scare. US economic data was skidding throughout early 2025 as the growth scare narrative took hold, but by most metrics, the growth scare stops growth scaring around mid to late April. US growth now cast, and the City Economic Surprise Index bottomed weeks ago and have been bouncing higher. So basically bullish. The DXY continues to be the most important thing to watch. DXY. Where's the DXY? So for those that don't know, the DXY is the strength of the dollar, and it has an inverse relationship with assets. Let's just have a look at history. Let's have a look at the previous bull market, which was right. You know what? Yeah, this is kind of crazy. So this is COVID, basically. And then you see here from March 2020 to August 2021. In this decline, Bitcoin what the fuck? I paid for TradingView today. I literally paid you. Come on, TradingView. Give me my premium features, man. Give me my premium features. Come on, man. Don't attack me. Don't attack me. All right, so okay, let me show you guys what happened in the previous bull market. Okay, whatever. Don't Matrix attack me. Give me my screens, man. Okay, we back. All right. So if we look at the previous bull market, I will show you the correlation between Bitcoin and the DXY. So go here, DXY. We'll make this on the weekly time frame, right? So okay, let's show you guys. Let me show you guys the correlation. So okay, previous bull market. You ready?
Sure.
This was COVID, right? And then look at here, May/June 2021. So this decline matches up with pretty much this rise in Bitcoin. Now, I didn't know this in 2021 because I wasn't as educated, but the fact that we hit this dip and then crypto continued to go up whilst the dollar got stronger was the sign that this is the end of the bull market, or was the sign that this is it now. This is basically it now, because the market, the dollar got stronger whilst Bitcoin was rising, and it should have an inverse relationship. So what we're betting on is for this dollar to continue to go down. We actually want the dollar to go down to like 90 in strength, and this dollar falling is gonna, well, it should reflect in asset prices. That's should, right? Because there's been a lot of things that have broken the rules in investing and trading, specifically gold going up whilst risk on assets go up. But that's kind of the fundamental behind it. Anyway, the DXY continues to be the most important thing to watch. It's led the US economic data by around 70 trading days for 2 years now. Here, I've shifted the DXY, inverted, forward trading 70 days. If this correlation holds, we should see continually improving US economic data over the next couple of months, at least as weaker dollar loosens financial conditions. Meanwhile, sentiment has recovered from an extreme low in April, according to Sentiment Traders Advisor and Investor Model, from 2% to above 50%. I can't lie, this was the biggest spike. This is one of the quickest changes in sentiment I've ever seen. I did not expect things to change this quickly. Okay, so next two tweets. What's going on with Trump tariffs? There was a lot of noise about a trade court ruling some Trump tariffs illegal last week, but really this made little difference in the grand scheme of things. We now have a lengthy appeal process ahead of us with tariffs still on in the meantime. Things will probably escalate along the way to the Supreme Court, and even if Trump loses the appeal, he can still go full tariff ahead by using other legal mechanisms. So not much has changed. Despite the court ruling, all tariffs are likely to remain in place for some time, but I don't think the tariffs are even that much of a big deal anymore. It's old news and the market has moved on. Things are still generally de-escalating from where we were in early April. We can see here that the trade war intensity has reduced. The majority of market participants are now expecting the effective tariff rate to eventually end up around 10 to 15%. This sounds reasonable, and this has now been digested by the market and priced in. So it's likely that ongoing tariff headlines will have progressively less impact on risk asset prices unless things start escalating significantly. This is good. And then finally, why did risk assets dip last week? Last week we saw 42 billion rebalancing occurring in markets. What is rebalancing? Large financial institutions will sometimes rebalance their portfolios at the end of a calendar month. This is again reflected in the Fiji Solutions, tlx.figisolutions.net. Here in the reverse repurchase agreements, which again seem to have a trend of spiking at the end of the month, which reduces liquidity very temporarily before liquidity is back in the market. And usually this is done by the people in, I don't want to say the elites, but you know, the big guys to shake people out. This is a mechanical flow of funds. Institutions are usually mandated to hold specific weightings or target ratios of stocks and bonds, often 60-40. So if the weightings get out of line, a rebalancing must occur. What happened last week? Throughout the month of May, we saw a significant divergence in performance between stocks and bonds. US stock indices moved strongly higher, S&P 500 plus 7%, whilst at the same time bonds sold off. So bonds as in these things like the 10-year yield and the 5-year yield. This would have impacted target ratios of many institutions, so they will be forced to rebalance their portfolios at the end of the month, selling stocks and buying bonds. In the last 3 trading days in May, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week, we saw the S&P 500 down 1.7% as institutions sold off stocks. And we saw, I don't know what he means by TLT. We also saw weakness in Bitcoin, minus 5%, May amid the risk of market flows. Bank of America estimates the end of month rebalancing contributed to around 42 billion in equity sell-offs. And on the bond side, it's estimated inflows of approximately 16 billion. But now the rebalancing is over. Okay, cool. So, let's have a look at some charts real quick. And then I will stop recording and then we'll get in the trenches. So this is the RSI, which is kind of like a global real estate index, kind of the first thing I like to look at. You can see here on the weekly in the MACD, we are forming some little blips of bullish momentum. The SIXRE is well in line with the global stock market and risk on assets, basically signaling the top of 2021. This has not hit anywhere near those 2021 highs, which is good. It shows me there is a lot of steam left in the bull market. We can see here on the MACD that the 12, aka the blue, is crossing the 26, aka the orange moving average, which is signaling more bullish momentum. So this is a good overall view of the market. Then we've got the VT, which is the Vanguard Total World Stock Index, representative of the trillions in the stock market, which is at all-time highs right now. And I'm pretty sure the S&P 500 is going to follow. Look, VT, all-time high, S&P 500 reaching back to all-time high. Will the S&P 500 go back to all-time highs? Yes, in my opinion. Even the UK stock market is at all-time highs, which is absolutely astounding, to be honest. I don't even know how that's possible, but that's the way it is. Nasdaq almost touching all-time highs, though there is a big gap here, so we could pull down to 20,000, which wouldn't be abnormal. But we can see here on the weekly, we have ultra bullish momentum forming. We have dark green candles forming bigger and bigger after a large move of bearish exhaustion. On the weekly RSI, we're remaining over the yellow. And on the monthly, we're about to pierce the yellow, which will be reflected into crypto. I'm going to have a look at my favorite stock, which is Coinbase, which I think I'm going to call this year. I think Coinbase is going to go to like $1,000 this cycle. The IPO release price in April 2021 was 421, and there's actually more money in Solana than Coinbase, which is crazy. If I type in Google Coinbase market cap, and then you check Solana's market cap, it's actually crazy to think that there's $81 billion in Solana, and I think Coinbase has like 64 billion. There's more money in Solana than the only centralized exchange in the stock market. Another stock pick of mine is Riot Blockchain. This stock moves very, very violently. And we're extremely far from these highs here in 2021. It's like a 4x high from 2021 highs. Riot Blockchain. Oh, sorry, that was PayPal. My bad. They've actually got quite similar charts. Yeah, Riot Blockchain is not 4x, sorry, is 8x from the 2021 bull market highs. Given that it was in the earlier part of 2021, I do believe a similar move will reoccur. This shit basically follows, well, has a parabolic spike every single bull market, or at least the previous two. A monster of a stock. And I think the reason why it was this high back in, actually, I can't explain why it was this high back in 2008, because Bitcoin only came out in 2007. But yeah, I have continued to accumulate Riot at the bottom below $10. Let's go over to crypto. My indicators on. Oh my God, what do we see here? Guys, we're at the cusp of altcoin season. Like, don't sleep on this. Okay, we can see here on the 10-20 moving average, the blue is about to cross the red on the 10-20. What happened the last time we crossed? The last time we crossed on the weekly was November 2024. If Krog is here, I'm sure he remembers this period. November 2024 to December 2024. We had
The trenches, but also the euphoria.
Yes. Look, it's about to happen again. The last time it happened before that was October 2023. Can you see how rare these opportunities are? The trenches are about to get fucking crazy. This is why I pay attention to macro first. They don't miss these things. Guys, I'm so serious about this, right? Just to share something personal, that me and my newlywed wife have not even gone on a honeymoon. Like, I got married 2 weeks ago. We're not going on a honeymoon until September or later this year.
Nah, bro, you gotta have the priorities right, bro. The honeymoon after that was gonna be way more crazy than the honeymoon now.
Trust me, bro. Like, I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing here with this, with the 10-20 moving average. I don't even use fancy indicators. These like normal ass indicators. RSI, basic shit. MACD, basic shit. 10-20, basic shit, right? But I hope you guys can just see what I'm seeing. Let's have a look at the crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin. Okay, look here. Look how, let me just take off the RSI and take off the MACD so you guys can really see this, right? Look how the crypto total market cap, look how this is literally about to cross. And then I'm gonna get the next thing, yeah, which is gonna be crypto minus Bitcoin. And then oh shit, I'm back. Yeah, and then I'm gonna stick on the 10-20 here. Notice how this one's close, but this one's closer. You guys see? This one's close, but this one's close. This one's close, but this one's closer. Now, if I add a third green, which is crypto total market cap minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, Like, look at the gap. Look. Am I on a super tweak, or can you guys see what I'm seeing? Bitcoin's gonna go up first, and then this is gonna close, and then Ethereum's gonna go up, and then altcoins are gonna go up. I can literally see it in the space between the 10-20 moving average.
No, good looking, bro. I hadn't seen that until you said it.
But you can see it now, right?
Yeah,
You
for
can see
sure.
how this one's just closed. This one's gonna close next, then this one's gonna close after. Like, oh my god, like this is just so like people shit on technicals, right? I mean, I'm gonna be so real. I used to shit on technicals. I used to be so fundamental. I used to be like, let me read the white paper. But everything in life, like, is literally telling you that look, this Bitcoin dominance is probably gonna go to. I'm gonna be so real. Okay, so let's just look at history. Last time it went to 73%. It's gonna go to at least 68% first. I'm not saying it's altcoin season tomorrow. Okay, it might be altcoin season in July. It might be altcoin season in like starting September. But I don't think if it's not altcoin season in July or August, I'm pretty fucking sure it's gonna be altcoin season in September. Like I don't know when this is gonna turn down. I don't know how much more it's got to climb. I don't know if it's gonna climb quickly and then fall, but I just know that this has been a grind. This Bitcoin dominance, this is why we've not had the altcoin season. And if you pick your runners, you can make so much money. Like let's just go to one of like let's just go to some basic ass shit, right? Like AVAX. I got so much AVAX, right? AVAX is like an Ethereum beta, basically. Like you grab AVAX and then you do this, right? And then you put Ethereum. Obviously, I keep saying Ethereum. It's Ethereum time, right? But AVAX is basically like it's almost like leveraged 2x Ethereum on spot, right? Like if I just compare these two charts, weekly, weekly. Okay, so let's 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 peep these highs, right? Let's peep these highs and lows. They're pretty much the same highs and lows. So March 2024, AVAX high, Ethereum high, March 2024. All right, cool. So what's this low? Ethereum low, like start September 2024. AVAX low, where were we? Around the same. Okay, this Ethereum high around the 16th of December. This AVAX high was like 1 week before. Okay, so Ethereum has spiked 2x from the low. AVAX has not spiked yet. Or it's not spiked much. Like only 50% from the low. Right? But how far is AVAX from the December high? Well, AVAX is currently nearly 3x from the December high, where Ethereum is like 67%. There's like a 3x difference between the highs.
That's interesting, dog.
And I'm talking about AVAX, bro. I'm not even talking about meme coins yet. You know what I mean? That's why you come to the live, guys, because I'm not going to talk about meme coins on YouTube, right? But yeah, I'm heavy in AVAX right now. Oh, there's something that you really got to be careful of, right? There's something you guys really got to be careful of, and that's the SOL ETH ratio, because it's looking kind of worrying right now. I can't lie. Like I want to continue to trade meme coins in the trenches, but like, I'm not saying you can't make money in Sol, but I know the trench is going to change because look, this is the price of Solana in Ethereum, and this is a lower high. And if I take all my lines off, you know this is not a bullish chart. This was bullish. This was bullish all the way until here. And then when it rejected from this high, we could be seeing something like this. Like, I want everyone to be real careful with Ethereum. Like, let's not forget Luna. Basically, I'm willing to accept that this is not going to happen for sure and is going to be invalidated if or when the Solana ETF gets approved. Because if that gets approved, we can cancel out. We can forget the TA. But I know too much about TA to ignore this downtrend right here. This lower high is going to be hard for Solana. Like, the thing that's going to catalyst Solana to outperform Ethereum is if it gets approved with the ETF. So yeah, I just want to be careful. I think the trench is going to change. There is a lot of money to make on Solana still if you catch the right memes, but this is very, very dangerous. So I want everyone to bear that in mind. Finally, I'll wrap up YouTube with my base chain picks. The way I think of it is like this, right? Ethereum's gonna have its time because it's been bleeding for like 3 years against Bitcoin. Everyone's tired of Ethereum. However, fundamentally, Ethereum is still king. I'm sorry, but like, outside of price action, Ethereum is a smart contract king, right? There's a reason why it has an ETF. There's a reason why the president is accumulating so much of it. So the way I like to think of it is like Ethereum is ultra undervalued. Coinbase is the only centralized exchange on the stock market, which is co-owned by like Circle. So the base chain is basically like, there has to be a base chain season, right? So I have a list of base chain assets, which I believe if you accumulate them at really good prices, they're going to do really well. And the first one is Aerodrome. Have you ever heard of Aerodrome? I mean, do you pay attention to the base chain or not, Coach?
A little bit, bro. I have had some base plays. I think I've seen Aerodrome come by, but I haven't bought it in. Um, I was mainly on the AI agent plays um on base earlier this year.
Okay, for sure, for sure. Well, basically, Aerodrome is the biggest liquidity provider on base.
Hmm.
Like, this is definitely a bearish chart pattern for sure, right? So I'm not saying you should buy Aerodrome right now, but
Hmm.
I do believe that, let's say we go down to this price here, like 37, that to me would be like a price where I could happily load the boat. Like, if I got in at this price, that's call it 500%. That's 6x. That's 6x from this high here in December. And this high here represents what? The ETH high of this cycle. Does that make
Okay.
sense? So
Yeah, I get
I'm
what you're saying.
looking
Yeah.
at these plays as like I'm looking at them as like the ETH beta. Then we've got Brett, obviously, which is like the meme coin of base, right?
Hmm.
So right now, does this look like a bearish pattern? Yeah, it does look like a bearish pattern. So I would look to maybe wait till like 35 cents or at least 44. Not that today's price is a bad price, but let's say, for example, we snap down to 33. Okay, again, December 2024. Again, what's this? This is the ETH high of this cycle, right? And if we snap to here, I mean, that's a 7x, bro. Then we've got AIXBT, which I'm sure you all know this one, like the beloved purple frog, right?
Yeah, of course.
We know this frog's not going anywhere. We're like, you go to cookie.fun.
Yeah. I found that's how I found a
Those who
couple of
don't know
plays.
this.
Not gonna lie, bro.
Yeah, no, of course. But we'll talk about those plays off recording because I don't want to be too degenerate, right?
Yeah. I hear you.
We'll trust this site.
I'm gonna mute myself
But
for a minute.
yeah, I'm gonna wrap up the YouTube. No worries. Guys, like the sensational price is like 14 cents. Like we get to 14 cents again. What is this? This is the ETH high of the cycle, right? You get to 17 cents. That's another 7x, 6.84x. All right. I don't know what's going on right now with cookie.fun, but basically AIXBT, big ups to our friend the frog. AIXBT. Yeah, this guy here still eating loads of mind share in the world. And yeah, I believe that this is a great accumulation zone. This is actually a really good chart pattern as well, because we're bouncing from the low and we're setting some higher highs. Then after that, we've got Miggles, which is I believe, oh my god, I think it's actually the time to buy Miggles. Guys, I think this is the price. The technicals are telling me that it's about to do a breakout here on the RSI. We've got bearish exhaustion, which should turn into green candles, and we have the blue crossing over the orange. I think it's time to buy Miggles. I will be buying Miggles tonight. This is good enough. We're 2x away from oh my god, from where we were a month ago. Yes, it's time to buy Miggles for sure, in my opinion. This is the ETH high, in which we are 6x. So I basically gave you guys 1, 2, 3, 4 assets on the base chain, which if you accumulate at today's price slash DCA, between current price and support zones, you should, in theory, not financial advice, be able to get a good 300 to 400%. I'm going to stop recording now because I want to talk about meme coins, which I don't want to talk about live on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, tell a friend. I'm going to be back here Sunday next week, and it's going to be my birthday, which is kind of crazy. Or I might do Saturday, who knows. Stay updated on social media, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, guys. Now I don't have the pressure.